They promise you quick money, luxury cars, and flashy lifestyle, but what they don't tell you is the real price: jail time. Kiama sat on her old woody chair, her eyes glued to her law textbook, though the word blurred in her tired vision. The rechargeable lamp beside her flickered as the power supply has been unstable for weeks. As a 200 level law student at the university in Imo State, she has learned to survive with little. Her mother, a businesswoman in the city, struggled to send her monthly stipends, and the money barely lasted a week. Kiama supplemented her income by working part-time at Mama Nkechi's buka, serving food to students and lecturers alike. Her only escape was studying, her one hope for a better future. But tonight, hunger troubled her stomach and exhaustion clouded her mind. Kiama, let's go out, Adeze, her best friend, suggested. Go where? Kiama asked, frowning. A bar off campus, just for a break, babe. Kiama rarely socialized, but something about tonight made her agree. She needed a distraction, a moment to forget about her struggles. That was the night she met David, the boy who would change everything. The bar was lively, filled with music and laughter. Kiama felt out of place, but Adeze convinced her to stay. As they ordered drinks, a deep, confident voice spoke beside her. I haven't seen you here before. She turned and met the gaze of David, the infamous campus big boy. At 24, he was in his final year and known for his extravagant lifestyle. His presence alone demanded attention: designer clothes, a gold chain around his neck, and an expensive cologne that filled the air around him. He must be one of those serious students, he teased, flashing a smile. Kiama raised an eyebrow. Maybe I am. David chuckled. I like that. Beauty and brains. The conversation flowed effortlessly. He was charming, funny, and surprisingly intelligent. By the end of the night, he had her number. As they left, Adeze pulled Kiama aside. Be careful. That guy, he is bad news. Kiama struggled. It's just a number, Ada. What's the worst that could happen? David wasted no time. The next day, he called and invited her to lunch at an expensive restaurant. At first, she refused, but her empty stomach convinced her otherwise. Over plates of spicy jollof rice and grilled chicken, David talked about his life, his dreams, and his ambition to be rich and powerful. You deserve soft life, Kiama, he said, watching her. A girl like you shouldn't be suffering. She blushed, unused to such attention. He was different from the boys on campus. He had confidence, power, and money, a lot of money. As the weeks passed, David showered her with gifts, new clothes, outing, and even money for school. Kiama, who had once prided herself on dependence, found herself drawn to him. Deep down, she knew the rumors. People said David was into Yahoo, but he never spoke about it, and she convinced herself he was just a businessman. I can change him, she told Adeze. He just needs the right person. Adeze shook her head. Or maybe you are the one who will change for the worse. Kiama noticed things that didn't add up. David never spoke about work, yet he had endless money. His friends had expensive cars, but no real jobs. Whenever they were together, he always received suspicious calls, speaking in hushed tones. One evening, she visited his apartment unannounced and found him and his friends laughing over what looked like scam emails. Her stomach tightened. David, what is this? She asked, voice shaky. He simply smiled. Business, babe. You don't need to worry about it. She wanted to walk away, but he pulled her close. Kiama, you are different. I love you. Her heart melted. She ignored the warnings, ignored the uneasy feelings in her guts. She believed in love, and she believed in him. But love, as she would soon learn, could be the most dangerous trap of all. One evening, David came to her hostel with a serious expression. Babe, I need a favor, he said, sitting beside her. Kiama frowned. What kind of favor? It's simple. Just receive an alert for me and withdraw the money. I can't use my account right now. Kiama hesitated. Why? It's just some business stuff, trust me. It's nothing illegal. Against her better judgment, she agreed. The next morning, her phone buzzed, and alert for 5 million naira. Her heart pounded. This wasn't normal. Kiama barely had time to process the transaction before chaos erupted on campus. Police officers stormed the university, arresting suspected fraudsters. Students whispered in fear. Then Kiama's phone rang. David. "Babe, hide. The police are looking for you," he whispered. Her blood ran cold. "Me? Why?" "There was a problem with that transaction. Just lay low. I'll fix it." Before she could say more, the line went dead. She ran to David's apartment, but it was empty. He was gone. So was the money. She has been set up. The police traced the fraudulent transaction to her account. Her picture spread online. She was officially a fugitive. At this, they found her crying in an abandoned lecture hall. "I told you, Kiama. He used you." Kiama had never felt so betrayed. She has lost everything: her reputation, her education, her future. With nowhere to go, she contacted her uncle, Barrister Obinna, a respected lawyer. "Uncle, I need your help," she whispered through tears. Obinna listened quietly. "You were foolish, Kiama, but I won't let you go down like this." He advised her to turn herself in before things worsened. Terrified, but with no other choice, she walked into the police station. Her nightmares were just beginning. The cell was cramped, the air thick with sweat and fear. Kiama sat in a corner, knees drawn to her chest. She wasn't a criminal. She had only loved the wrong person. Hours passed before Obinna secured her bail. "We'll fight this," he assured her, "but you must be honest with me." Kiama nodded, wiping her tears. She was ready to tell the truth. But was it enough to save her? David had vanished without a trace. Barrister Obinna and the police began investigating, following the trial of his previous scams. Meanwhile, Kiama's case was gaining public attention. Some believed she was innocent, others called her foolish. But Kiama was done being a victim. If she had to clear her name, she would. Kiama sat in her uncle's office, staring at the files spread across the table. Barrister Obinna has gathered everything he could about David's activity. "He's done this before," Barrister Obinna explained. "He scams women, uses their account, then disappears." Kiama's stomach shone. She has been another pawn in his game. The police devised a plan. If David was still in the country, he would eventually reach out to her. They needed her to be the bait. Kiama hesitated. What if he doesn't fall for it? Barrister Obinna placed an assuring hand on her. "He will. Greedy men always do." She took a deep breath and sent David a message. "I escaped. I need you." Now, all they could do was wait. Days passed without a response. Kiama was losing hope. Then, her phone buzzed. A number, a single message. "Where are you?" Her heart pounded. David has taken the bait. She played along, telling him she needed money to leave town. He told her to meet him in a small hotel in Owerri. The police set up a sitting operation, officers waiting in hidden corners of the hotel. Kiama, terrified but determined, walked into the room where David sat, looking as smug as ever. He never saw the officers until it was too late. David tried to run, but the police were faster. He fought, cursing Kiama as they handcuffed him. "You set me up," he spat, struggling against the officer. Kiama stood firm, her hands trembling. "You set me up first." As they dragged him away, reality sank in. The man she once loved has nearly destroyed her life. Now, he was the one facing justice. But was this enough to clear her name? Let's find out. With David in custody, the case moved to court. The evidence against him was overwhelming. Multiple fraudulent transactions, testimonies from other victims, and proof that Kiama had been manipulated. She took the stand, her voice steady as she told her story. "I was naive," she admitted, "but I never stole anything. He used me." David, sitting in handcuffs, scoffed, but the judge wasn't moved by his arrogance. The trial continued for weeks. Kiama's name was slowly being cleared, but the damage was done. Would she ever regain her dignity? The courtroom was silenced as the judge read the final ruling. For crimes of fraud, identity theft, and financial manipulation, the court finds the defendants David Nwankwo, guilty. He's hereby sentenced to 10 years in prison. Kiama let out a shaky breath. It was over. David glared at her as he was led away. You will never be free of this, he hissed. She ignored him. She has fought and she has won. But now, she has to rebuild her life. Even with David in prison, Kiama struggled. Students still whispered about her. Professors eyed her with suspicion. Once they label you, it's hard to change their minds at their side. Kiama refused to let shame define her. She threw herself into her studies, determined to graduate with honors. She has almost lost everything. Now, she was reclaiming it. Kiama started a blog, sharing her story. To every young woman out there, be careful who you trust. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Her words spread quickly. Other women shared similar experiences. And soon, Kiama's story became a movement. She realized her pain had a purpose. She wasn't just a victim. She was a survivor. Months passed. Kiama graduated with distinction, earning a scholarship to study abroad. At the airport, she hugged Adaeze tightly. Thank you for never giving up on me. Adaeze grinned. Just promise me you will come back as a badass lawyer. Kiama laughed. That's the plan. As she boarded the plane, she felt something she hasn't in a long time. Hope. Years later, Kiama stood before a room full of law students, dressed in a sleek black suit. I was once like you, she began, young, ambitious, and blinded by love. She paused, meeting their eager gazes. But I fought back, and now I fight for others. The applause was deafening. As Kiama stepped outside, her phone buzzed. A new case, another young woman needing help. She smiled. She has turned her greatest mistake into her greatest mission. She was no longer a victim of David's deception. She was the woman who has outsmarted him, and she was just getting started. Moral of the story: easy money comes with a heavy price. Fraud may seem like a shortcut to success, but in the end, it only leads to regret, disgrace, and jail time. True success is built on honesty, hard work, and integrity. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. To new people who found my page, please do like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.